restoring Illinois to greatness. This is Illinois Rising, presented by the Illinois Policy Institute and hosted by AM 560's Dan Proft.
Dan Proft back with Austin Berg, writer for the Illinois Policy Institute, on this edition of Illinois Rising. And Austin, great news this week. The Chicago City Council passed a budget. And I know it's great news because Tiny Dancer said so, saying of this budget that was approved 48-0. You can say Chicago tomorrow is better because of the work you have done over the last 5 years, Rahm Emanuel told the assembled trained seals. A very touching moment. Alderman Ed Burke, the dean of the city council, if you will, said, I'm even seeing smiles on the faces of my colleagues, which makes us feel very, very confident, not only that this is not only a good budget, but that it is looking very, very good for Chicago's future.
Sounds like Trump.
Very, very.
A lot of verys. Good.
Tremendous. So things are tremendous in Chicago because all of these Chicago Democrat politicians got together and passed a budget. And
meanwhile, the average family is going to pay about $1,700 more a year in taxes than they did before Mayor Emanuel took office.
Can you really put a price, though, on a happy alderman? Smiles on the faces of Ed Burke and his colleagues. Isn't that what's important?
That's great.
So that's it. And now, I didn't hear anything about the Chicago police and fire pensions, which are under 30% funded and trending towards insolvency. I didn't hear anything about the state of public safety in Chicago that has more murders, raw numbers, than L.A. and New York combined in 2016. I didn't hear anything about the Chicago public school systems other than Chicago public school property tax will increase by $245 million in 2017, with most of that money not going to the classroom but to the Chicago Teachers Pension Fund. I did hear that. So that's what I heard. But so the quality of life in Chicago getting better as the result of all of these noblemen and magistrates coming together to agree on the way in which Chicago denizens will be fleeced?
Among aldermen, I think quality of life is as high as it's ever been.
I don't think so. And I would submit Exhibit A. They did not get face value World Series tickets.
Good point. I forgot about that.
So, it's been a tough year for the Chicago Aldermen, which is why it's nice to end it on a high note, where they could come together.
This is like the World Series.
Celebratory.
So I think, obviously, we can talk to death about all the problems Chicago has. Even if Chicago was this gleaming metropolis, you would have a serious problem with the way that these budgets get passed year after year. So, for instance, this thing got passed on Wednesday with a contentious 48-0 vote.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess when the city released its analysis of the budget?
Why do we need an analysis? You've already said, Ron, this will make things better. What more do you need?
So the Council Office of
Financial Analysis... Are you not taking him at his word?
The Council Office of Financial Analysis, which is the city budget watchdog, released that analysis Wednesday, hours before the vote. The budget hearings that happened for weeks before, about half of aldermen attended those. 40 aldermen blew off the ethics hearing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is not. This is a serious governance problem beyond any of the dollars and beyond any of the smiles that Burke is seeing.
So what you're trying to tell me is that the 50 luminaries on the city council are not as fully engaged as they would otherwise have you believe?
Well, it's not a you can barely call it a legislative body. If we have billions of dollars being spent unanimously without half of the people coming to the budget hearings, most of the budget hearings are either people congratulating city staffers or pestering them because they didn't get a pothole filled fast enough. These people aren't legislators. They are kings of their mini fiefdoms. They only care about those things. They could care less about what this budget spent and what it spent it on as long as they get their piece of it, it seems.
I wonder if it'll be all smiles and all high fives when federal bankruptcy court appoints an emergency manager to govern Chicago for a time, like Detroit. That's a few years in the offing, but it's coming.